What's up, guys? We got episode 3 right now. Uh, I'm stoked. As you can see, of course, I'm sweating my ass off. Sweating on my forehead, sweating on my lip, pits, fucked, ass swamped. You know how it is, man. God damn. Let's see, man. We'll start off by talking about my day yesterday. I had a really fun day, fun night, especially yesterday. I headed up to Salt Lake to go and do an open mic at Wise Guys. And I live like 40 minutes away from it. So what I like to do is hop on the train and go up there. And then Wise Guys Comedy Club is like 5 minutes away from the train station. So super convenient. I love doing that. Anyways, take the train up there, get off, meet up with the homies, say what up. The kid that told me that he would have weed didn't, which is fine. Not that I'm mad. He said that his pancreas, something about his pancreas, he has to go to a doctor's shit and he didn't want weed in his system. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, I get it. The old pancreas excuse. That's fine. Just kidding. Let's see. So then we're waiting in line to get in. And when I was walking in line, I cut in front of this girl. I did. I didn't mean to. And she called my ass out for it. She's like, what the fuck, man? You can't cut. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm so sorry. But it was cool because then we started talking and she totally opened up. She told me about her open mic set last week and how she saw a guy in the crowd that she hooked up with and the dude couldn't remember and she's giving him shit for it. And then he's like, I'm an alcoholic and I still kind of am and I'm struggling with it. And I'm like, thank you for telling me all this. Holy shit, this is a lot to take in. But I love it, man. I love when people are like that. And it seems like a ton of comics are like that, man. People that are doing these open mics trying to, not necessarily trying to make it in comedy, but enjoy coming to these open mics. They have this personality of being open and like expressive and like not trying to hide shit. And it's so fun. You just like click and you become friends with these people so fast. So that was a cool experience. And this dude that was like in front of us in line turns around and we're talking and we have 3 people talking and he's telling me, he's like, yeah, man, I've got equipment for a podcast set up. I'm doing Twitch. I got all these different things set up. And I'm like, we're networking. And he's like, yeah, let's try something out. Let's collab. Let's see if we have chemistry together. See if we're funny together. So I love open mics for that reason, man. You meet the coolest people. You make the best friends. And then also such good opportunities because we all are similar minded and we're trying to do the same thing, man. So yeah, that was super cool. And I get to the front of the line and I'm about to go in and I check for my ID and I was like, oh my fucking god, I don't have my ID. I took the train all the way from Orem and I don't have my ID. I was like, shit. And the girl at the front is a total sweetheart and she was trying to help me, but she was like, look, it's my job and I remember you were here last week, but like I can't let you in. And I was like, you know what, I totally get it, this is my fault. I'll try to see what I can do. So I go outside and I'm just chilling on a chair, hanging out. It's at a place called the Gateway in Salt Lake, and the Gateway is really cool, man. They got like cool lights, they got cool stores, there's people walking around, it's cool energy over there. And I'm just sitting on my chair, on my phone. I'm like, maybe there's other open mics I can hit. Because I know, like, there's like coffee shops and shit. And there's different things going on that perhaps I could hit. And I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, what a bummer. And as I'm sitting in my chair, my other homie, DJ, comes up. And he's like, dude, what's up? Are you going in? I'm like, I forgot my ID. And he's like, oh, okay, stay here, don't leave, give me like 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. 5 minutes later, this bodyguard comes out. He opens a door, not the main door, like a side door, and he points at me. He's like, come on in, man. I was like, what? And fucking DJ's behind him. He's like, I was like, how the fuck, bro? How do you know him? How did you do all this? And he's just like, dude, I got the hookups. So that was so cool, man. So I'm in there. We're just hanging out. Everyone's got their drinks. We're just chilling. And the way that the open mic works is that, on Tuesdays at least, is you write your name on a little ticket, like if you went to a carnival, like the tickets that they have there, and they tear it, you can go on your ride or whatever and shit. So I'm just waiting for my name to get called. The way they do is they call four tickets, and they call that a round. Those 4 will go, and then they'll call 4 more next round. And dude, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're not calling my name. And I'm like, a little antsy, a little bit, just because, dude, I'm not, I'm still new to this. I still get kind of nervous and shit. So I'm like sitting there nervous, but it's still fun. It's a cool vibe. And the homie DJ was like, dude, I brought wraps and some weed. Like, whenever you want, we can dip and like go smoke in my car. And I was like, oh my god, that sounds amazing, but dude, I got my set and I really want to at least try. And I'm like, dude, one more round, and if I'm not in this round, yeah, let's dip. They go next round, my name doesn't get called. I'm like, oh my god, dude, one more round, please wait, one more round. And he's got his beer and he's just like, dude, I'm fucking chilling, bro, however long it takes. I'm like, okay, let's just wait. Next round, still don't get called. I'm like, oh my god. And at this point, it was kind of like, I don't know, the vibe was a little bit different, where no one was even paying attention to the comic. I felt bad for the people going up, because like they were trying to do their shit, but everyone was just kind of talking. I'm like, now it's just total practice. It's like no one's really laughing. It's just all practice for yourself to get up and do it, which is cool. But finally, I'm like, dude, fuck it, let's dip. I gotta catch the train. I don't have a ton of time left. Let's do it. So we go out, and then there's these other 2 comics that we meet, and we're like, dude, what are you guys up to? You want to come smoke with us? And they're like, hell yeah. I'm like, we got a fucking crew. Let's go. Yeah, so we head over. He's parked like 3 blocks away. We're just walking over, chatting it up. And we get to his car, he rolls it up, and it's a chill vibe, but weed still technically is illegal in the state of Utah. So not that I was sketched out, but we kind of were looking over our shoulders a little bit, which I don't love, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Hitting the joint, and we're just talking, and these motherfuckers are hilarious, bro. They are... Whoa! I gotta stop banging on this table, man. I've got a strong impulse to bang. I want to bang. You know what I'm saying? Where was I, man? Oh yeah, hanging out, dude. Funny motherfuckers, bro. And they were super cool to talk to, because they had definitely way more experience than a lot of the other comics. They killed it. They were so funny on stage. They were so natural, I felt like, and so themselves on stage. Because, like, a lot of people get nervous on stage, and then you talk to them off, and they're funny. And you're like, dude, just be that way on the stage. But these guys definitely were. And I'm like, dude, I want to get to that level as quickly as I possibly can. They were such good examples of that. Anyway, man. They weren't from Utah. So we're like, dude, let's walk around. Let's check out the city a little bit. We're walking around, checking it out, having a good time. And then I just thought again, I was like, oh shit, maybe Wise Guy maybe it's still going. So I said, peaced out to them, and I kind of jogged back, but it had already closed. And I had like maybe 20 minutes to get to the train, which was fine. It's only like a 5-minute walk. But, even though I wasn't able to perform, dude, I just felt so good. I don't know, it's hard to explain, man. It's like, this feels good. I love this direction that I'm going in. Even though it's not perfect and it's not going exactly according to plan, it just is fun more than anything. It's a fucking blast. Fucking put in my headphones and I'm like walking downtown Salt Lake and I'm like just breaking it down, dancing. I just felt feeling good, man. Feeling full, had the heart full, bro, and just feeling satisfied. I love that feeling, man. And made it back to the train, made it back, and ultimately had a successful night. Really enjoyable. So yeah. Now we're here. Ting, 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 ting. Oh my god. Okay. So let's go into this. This is going to be a cool episode, I believe, because it has to do with psilocybin mushrooms, one of my favorite things on planet Earth. And this is explaining the specific mushroom trip that I had. I've tripped 5 or 6 or 7, something like that, times. And this one was a cool one, man. This one was just so powerful because it brought up a lot of shit that I was ignoring. And I'm glad it did, even though it was distressful in the moment. It was ultimately very therapeutic and very healing. Man, I just have conditioning. I grew up Mormon, man, and I grew up in Utah, and that shit, I mean, some people liked it, some people enjoy Mormonism, and it's good for them, but, you know, not for me. For me, that shit's, like, the culture of it is pretty fucking traumatic. And these mushroom trips have really helped me to become my own self, you know? I don't want to be Mormon, I don't want to be ex-Mormon, I just don't want anything to do with it, I just want to be me, you know? And mushrooms really help you with that. It just helps you, like, let go of all of that shit, like, let go of your past and your conditioning that has nothing to do with you. You are who you are, and be that. So, yeah, man. This chapter is going to talk about that, and it talks about specific things that I said, specific things that happened, and in a way I, like, want to know why I said what I said, and I want to know why I did what I did. And I give myself my own interpretations for it, and I think it's kind of cool. So, at least interesting. Just my take on what happened, and I think it could be ultimately therapeutic for ya. I hope it is. Let's just hop into it, man. This book and our relationship was strongly influenced by a psilocybin mushroom trip. We would like to discuss the events that occurred along with their symbols and meanings. Do you feel comfortable discussing this subject? Yes, I do. Please proceed at your own pace. I'd prefer to ask my questions and hear your answers. That sounds great. So far I've written, a little bit, but I haven't said shit. So this is basically where it starts. What were the pressure points that caused me so much distress? It was your trauma self trying to convince you how miserable your life is. It acted strongly to allure your attention, thus validating and continuing its existence. I like that, man, because I did feel this pressure inside of me, but ultimately, I consider it a lie. It's one perspective. My body is acting one way, but I don't need to believe that, and it doesn't need to constantly be that way. Is the trauma self an entity? The trauma self is an energy field that desires to continue its existence. If I label my episode as a mental breakdown, is that accurate? Yes, a mental breakdown. But more importantly, and every time you share your story, you must explain the mental breakthrough. Why did it feel good to have a breakdown? Dude, because it did feel good, man. I mean, it was stressful when it happened, but like afterwards I just was like, oh, such a state of relaxation. Because your culture tragically teaches / conditions man that he is weak for feeling his emotions. Just one man that can feel his emotions fully and is connected to the field. Okay. And is connected to the field can alone guide the world through catastrophe. During my breakdown, I screamed repeatedly, I love you, and right after, I'm sorry. I did do that. It was so weird. I don't even know why. I was like, yeah, all flustered. I was like, I love you. I'm sorry. Yeah, strange. So this is why I think I said that. There are 2 reasons for this. The first was to demonstrate the insanity of what you were saying and what you were feeling. At a deep unconscious level, this was your reality. You were misinterpreting love with PTSD. The second reason was to demonstrate the absolute insanity of the feedback loop generated by the trauma self. It believes it is sending love. It is not. It is sending PTSD. It witnesses fully the hurt done on the individual, and it feels extreme guilt for this. To reconcile, it apologizes profusely, only to find it caused more PTSD to loved one and unto itself. Yeah, man, so, I mean, that's kind of extreme, I feel like, but it was helpful for me to write that down because I have had experiences where, especially with people that I love, I think, I've hurt them, and even though I love them, I feel bad, really bad about it, and trying to apologize sometimes even made it worse. And I think what I get from that is that if there's any of this like PTSD involved in relationships, it's better not to like address it, because even addressing it brings it up. It's just better to let it go and to connect with like that free-flowing lightness, coolness of love. At the climatic point between the breakdown and breakthrough, I felt a strong pressure in my heart, and I felt like I screamed through it. Can you explain this? It represented the nervic pathways and blockages created when you were a baby and would cry in an intense state of panic, not receiving relief and feeling utterly helpless because of it. This rested as a foundation in your physical makeup. You proved to yourself and corrected those pathways by facing it, even if it came out in a dysfunctional way. Much better methods and techniques will be discussed on how to help individuals through this process in a loving and constructive way. So, I think maybe there's some truth in that. Like, it's well established in psychology that a baby is, I don't know the exact age, but even 2 years and younger, a significant amount of development occurs that lasts the entire lifespan of that child. And if you have these moments as a baby that you feel panic and helpless, and obviously there's not perfect parents, there's never perfect parents or perfect caretakers. I can say that. That's fine to say. You're going to have these developments that perhaps aren't the most productive or beneficial. And so, as an adult, I think it'd be cool if we figured out ways how to address and correct these, what would you even call it, nervic pathways? That's what I said. I don't know a better word for it. Better ways of doing that instead of, screaming and crying in your car. But if you want to do that, that's fucking cool too. Let's see, what else? After that, I started screaming, "You're free, you're free." What does that mean? It was important for you to come to the conscious realization that you are not your insanity. In a sense, you gave yourself your own permission to be liberated from your insanity. Yeah, it was interesting, man. It was like, I believe in the idea of logos, the idea of speaking things into reality, and I think that could be a tool even for people that are trying to heal from whatever they're trying to heal from, to say out loud, even to yourself, "You're free." Give yourself permission to let go and be free of whatever is holding you back. I call it insanity, and I think that's true, because anybody that's sane would not do anything that's hurtful to themselves or to other people. You experience deep tranquility and inner space as a result. It was important for you to feel that unconditional love and unconditional freedom mirror each other. After that, I feel like I channeled a spirit. It spoke through my mouth, but in his voice. What happened? Instead of explaining this phenomena, know that it was meant for you to experience. Destroy all beliefs about what is possible. Keep your heart open and your mind on fire, and the miracles and synchronicities you soon will experience will be astonishing. Fear nothing. All things on your spiritual path are for your betterment. You are not alone. You are cared for. You are loved. How do I love without PTSD? By undergoing a full detox. You are well on your way. Be brave and courageous in your love, even if you feel PTSD. Those who merely witness your transformation will feel deeply inspired. They will go on inspiring others as well. Many religions have labeled the trauma self as ego. They have said since the ego's destination is an inevitable disappearance, it is ultimately an illusion. You will no longer be persuaded or swayed by illusion. All that is real is eternal. You are real. You are eternal. Mic drop. Yeah, man, that's the chapter. Dude, I fucking felt like I channeled a spirit. It was crazy as shit, man. I haven't really told anybody about it, but I'll tell you guys about it. Yeah, this happened when I was driving in my car, and the way that I would describe it is that it was the spirit's voice coming out of my mouth. Because I was the one moving my mouth, but it was not my voice. Dude, guess who it was? Guess. Dude, it was the fucking Mormon prophet Gordon B. Hinckley, which is so strange. And I've thought about why that happened, and I think maybe it had to do with the idea as a kid, I got brainwashed into thinking that the Mormon prophet was the closest man to God, and that no one else in the whole world was that close to God. And so in a way I was experiencing like my inner child beliefs, and like I needed to hear his voice tell me some things that I needed to hear. And it was cool, man. What the spirit said out of my voice was that I was always free, that I am free, and that I always will be free, and that nothing could ever change that. I could never do anything to change that. Nobody, not what anybody thinks, not what anybody says about me could change that. That was just my given right to be free, to do whatever I wanted, experience whatever I wanted, feel whatever I felt. And it was so, my God, liberating to have that experience, man. I remember just being like, I just want to sit in this chair and feel whatever I feel, and not feel bad about it. I was like, felt like my conditioning taught me to, like, it's bad to feel good. It's bad to want what you want. You need to care about what other people think about you so much, which is bullshit. That's not true at all. You're free. You're free to do whatever you want. You're free to experience. You're free to feel whatever you want. I think that's a very powerful message. So do I think that it was him that visited me? I personally do, because I have this weird connection to him. Even though I don't fuck with the idea of, maybe what he did on Earth, it did feel like I connected with him, and an actual being that had lived a life on Earth and is now doing his own thing somewhere else, but is still sending back love and encouragement to anybody on their path. So that was cool, man. That was really, really cool. And then, the last thing I want to talk about is this idea of the ego. The Eastern